So I've gone out the back after the first fight, take my tape off, take the gloves off, have a quick sip of water, put the jacket on, start thinking about the next fight. But of course, we don't know who the opponent is. So the next thing we had to do was go out and watch the next matchup, because that was the winner out of that fight was who I would end up fighting. Sat down on the steps and just watched the fight, sort of to get a feel of what was next. The two guys were fighting were very sharp, very flashy, but the ultimate winner, Kohei from Fighters Express, ended up winning thanks to 3 knockdowns in the first round. Kohei was a little bit lighter. He's come up to fight in the division, but he was very, very sharp, very, very explosive in his movements. And so watching that fight, I was sitting there with Jez and Richie, and we made the conscious decision that whereas in the first fight, I was looking for sort of big, heavy shots to put the guy away, that wouldn't work in this next fight, because this guy, Kohei, was very, very sharp, and he wasn't going to be there to be hit in the first place. The focus of this second fight was going to be sharp as well, tag him with the short, sharp kicks, be explosive, move your feet, don't be there to be hit, because him being much lighter has every potential for him to hit me with his combinations and get out the way before I counter. So there's that complete change in mindset from fight 1 to fight 2. So when I go into a fight like this, and it's like, okay, you have to completely now change from being a lot heavier and sitting on your punches and your kicks to being as sharp as you can, fighting like a bantamweight instead of fighting like a welterweight, which is basically what the difference was. I have those tools in my arsenal because I have the experience and I've done it over a long period of time. And I have the experience doing it. It's as simple as that. You don't have that experience unless you've done it. And it's taken me a long time to build that up. So when you see me switch and change in a fight, I'm not just making that up. I'm not just doing that. It's something that I have practiced for years and years and years and years, and developed and honed and sharpened over the years. And it's all kind of melded now into this fight style I have, where it looks like I can change from moment to moment, round to round. But it's a lot more complex than that. It's a lot more kind of deliberate than that. So in this fight, you'll see I'm looking for those. It's a lot of kick for kick, which is what it was going to. We knew that it was going to be this sort of kick for kick. And I'm looking for that inside thigh kick a lot. I'm also looking to get my hands on him. After my first fight, I felt a little bit sluggish in the last round because I'd expended a lot of energy trying to get the knockout in that first fight. But then I'd had enough opportunity to come down, cool down, get some water in, have another carb gel and go back out. And I actually felt really, really light in this fight. I felt really kind of sharp. And my reaction time was good. I was seeing things. But as the first round started to progress and I started to kind of put the pressure on, I stopped moving my feet so much and I was a little bit heavier on that front foot. And that's when he landed a couple of those leg kicks. And I was kind of a bit more static on that front foot. It was one of those ones where you've just got to try and pin him down, get him on the corner and lay a few shots into him. In the first round, I hit him with a jab early on and I saw his head snap back. I saw his eyes kind of go, oh shit. So I knew if I could get my hands on him, then he wouldn't last long. But it's easier said than done. Normally it's me that's a lot sharper, a lot quicker, doing this, the scoring and moving and frustrating people. Whereas he was doing that a little bit to me because he was a little bit lighter. In saying that though, I was landing a lot of shots on him too. And watching it back, feels a lot different. When it was out there, I felt like he was landing a lot more than I was. That was it. It was like, nah, you know what? I'm going to start hurting you now because I'm not having my way and I don't like that. And then he got me with that leg kick. And then that's when I kind of gone, okay. I actually said to myself, I cannot cop one more of those leg kicks because I won't be able to stand back up. It was at that point where that leg kick did so much damage that if I caught one more, I don't think I would have been in a lot of physical pain. It's just starting now. In that kind of in between that first round, Charlie was putting the ice on my shin. And I remember directing him exactly to the spot, which was like in the top of the calf, right behind, where the knee is. It was like this throbbing ache. Like my legs started to kind of seize up, my quad, my just above my knee. So I had this kind of straight leg limp kind of thing, because I could feel everything just tightening up. It was like a corky, like imagine getting punched as hard as you can in the leg or in the calf, just sort of seized up. It wasn't at that kind of agonizing, excruciating stage yet because for whatever reason, and the adrenaline was still there. I was still ready to go. But I knew at that point in time that one more of those kicks and I would have been in trouble. So I said to myself, all right, no more. How am I going to change that? I remember standing in the corner and the Richie and Jez were saying to me, I think Richie said to me, you are so dangerous when you're moving your feet. Go back to moving your feet. He's having so much trouble with you when you're bouncing around. When you stand still, that's when he's catching you. That's when he's hitting you with that leg kick. And I remember saying to Richie, how am I countering that leg kick? And what I was implying was, how am I supposed to be dealing with that leg kick and throwing that right hand? Because I felt like every time I was throwing that right hand, I was getting chopped. And there must have been a miscommunication because Richie and Jez were going, yeah, you're doing fine. And I was like, no, how am I countering? Anyway, but that, it was just that kind of first round started really well, really sharp. But then I wasn't having the success that I thought I should have been having, given, I was landing some shots, but I didn't think I was landing enough. And I felt like he was landing more. So consequently, I got a little bit heavier on my feet and started trying to walk him down and bully him a little bit, get my hands on him, which worked until he landed those couple of leg kicks. And that's when then I had to go, right, that bullying isn't working right now. I need to be moving my feet and do the bullying. So I need to bully, but I need to do it with good footwork. And so I came out in the second round, a lot more footwork, a lot more in and out, feinting, moving. And that was kind of the change up that needed to occur. You watch the fight and it might look like a big drastic change, but it's not. It's only minor things, just that little bit of footwork to move me in and out rather than kind of, because when you're sort of planted heavy on your feet, you're waiting to throw those big counters. And that's what I was waiting to do. I was standing there waiting. But I can do that waiting and countering from a kind of bit more dynamic footwork perspective. But I just needed to be kind of reminded of that. But yeah, it's not this kind of big drastic change where I'm going from slugging to sharp movement. It's all sharp movement, but it's just a tiny little adjustment of a bit of bouncing of your feet, just a little bit more footwork. And that tiny little bit of bouncing creates uncertainty in your opponent. They start saying, is he going? Is he going? Is he not going? There's that kind of hesitation. That's what you can capitalize on. But when you're not bouncing, which is what was happening to me, that you're easy to see. You're there, you're a static target. I was throwing the kicks to try and land, but what I really wanted to do was hit him with a right hand, because I knew if I could hit him with a decent right hand, I'd probably put him down. So I hit him with a couple of jabs, and I could see his face, but a decent right hand, I felt like that would have ended it. But he had decent head movement there where I was swinging for him and he just kind of moved out the way. And then that hook was just instinct. I threw the 1-2, stepped under it, and he kind of bounced off the ropes, and that left hook, which we've been working on a whole lot throughout this fight camp and other fight camps over the years. We've worked on it a lot, but I haven't. You can see me kind of limping back to the corner there. We've been working on that hook a lot, and for it to just kind of come out, I wasn't trying to, because that was the thing. When you try and hit someone really hard and try and hurt them, often you miss them completely. And it's when you pull back and you just let the technique go, that's when you catch people, because the technique just comes out. You're not even expecting it. And it just, perfect timing, distance control, whatever. Thousands of repetitions of that in the gym over the years. And then it comes out like that in the fight. And as soon as it hit, I knew it was it. It was done.